So, The Insane World of Transformers Toys in 2024 by Diamondbolt.
Ho ho holy shit, I'm in financial ruin. Hello and welcome back to my favorite annual
Double dipped into liking Breath of the Wild because I'm also an existing Zelda fan.
series that I definitely don't just do to write off a year's worth of toys. So 2024 hasn't exactly been the greatest year for Transformers. Paramount finally locked in and made an actually good Transformers movie that isn't racist and treats its audience like a bunch of lobotomized toddlers.
Racist?
So naturally no one saw it, so Hasbro went, fuck it, we're not
There's racist Transformers movie.
paying for this shit anymore. I mean, I still had a pretty good time with it because I got to go to the Aussie premiere in Sydney and take photos with Orion Pax's Gooch and Bumblebee's ass, and that was pretty sick. I was absolutely pissing myself with the fact they were making like 10-year-old children sign NDAs, by the way. Stay classy, Paramount. And we got a free toy out of it too. This
The twins being black.
dog toy looking piece of shit. I see this is where the entire marketing budget for the movie went. But for the toys, I mean, yeah, it was alright. Jesus himself descended from the heavens to give us like the best Optimus and Megatron toys of all time this year. The Marvel comic line was pretty cool. They finally finished the Dinobots after like 27 years. Tidal Wave was pretty sick, even if the shit cost like $300 and still doesn't come with a mini-con. There's been a lot of love for second-party companies this year, like YOLO Park and Blockies, who sent me about 150 kilos of free shit, so I have absolutely no bias toward them whatsoever. Most of the shit this year has been super good, like, don't get me wrong. It's just been, like, kind of quiet, I guess. Like, the main toy line at the moment, Legacy United, had, like, maybe the most goated first wave of all time, and then just kind of devolved into more of the same. More corpses, more repaints, and rocks. But Legacy's finally wrapping up this year
only
after
so much you
giving us
can
like
do.
3 years of peak to get ready for next year's Age of the Primes line. That's just Legacy again, but with a shittier logo. After 2 years of absolutely nothing, Studio Series finally gave the starving Michael Bay fans their one single toy for the year. There was no HasLab this year either, because that shit's taking until 2025, which is kind of good actually, because it gives me more time to get my meth empire up and running to recover from committing financial suicide. We're barely like, even getting leaks anymore. Like the coolest thing we got this year was when some dude leaked the new Studio Series Optimus Prime with him playing a freaking piano, which was pretty sick actually. And I mean, like, I do prefer hearing about this shit officially instead of like in the form of some decapitated, malformed prototype, but it kind of just gives us like nothing to talk about for like 6 months, you know? But you guys would be proud of me, because I haven't even been staking out stores anymore waiting for new stock, both because I cannot be bothered anymore, and also because all of the stores near me haven't been asked to stock a Transformer for the last fucking year. Oh, but thank God they're stocked up on Baby from freaking Dragon Ball GT. Oh yeah, the kid's gonna eat that shit up. The best you're gonna find in store nowadays are like these absolute piece of shit Authentics figures that I'm pretty sure giving to a kid would like legitimately constitute child abuse. So now my only options are like pre-ordering from JB Hi-Fi or Amazon, who are in a constant competition to see who can delay my shit as many times as possible. Amazon delayed my Vector Prime so many times that I started to think that everyone that was pretending they owned him was just part of like a mass hallucination. But you want to know what my biggest beef this year was? The goddamn multi-pack. Oh, you want to buy your 20th Optimus Prime for the year? Well, too bad, dickhead. You gotta spend $150 to get the 80 millionth use of a 6-year-old Megatron toy. You're gonna be spending the next 6 months hoping someone is enough of a dumbass to buy on eBay. They did like 27 multi-packs this year, dude. I swear to God. And only one time did I actually want.
At first, that's by multi-packs he meant it's like something like a gacha or something, right? So, like, I wonder if there's probably stuff like that, like some Transformers gacha, you know, you buy a box and you don't know what toy you're getting.
Both of them. To get Ruckus, I had to buy another Bludgeon. To get Windsweeper, I had to buy this absolute shit-ass breakdown toy. All because I wanted this single cliff jumper. I got stuck with this floppy-ass Tarn, a Tarantulas that looks like a bootleg, and an actual bobblehead. But none of these will ever be as bad as this goddamn Hound.
Oh, I see.
So you guys remember Galaxy Shuttle from last year, right? The toy that was so goddamn hard to find that I did on an international pilgrimage to the UK to get it. Now, I don't know if I'd say Hound was a Galaxy Shuttle level threat, but this motherfucker pushed me to the absolute brink of human patience. This Hound, this Earth mode Hound, is maybe the greatest challenge I've ever faced in my life, and I'm a Sonic fan. So, they put out a Cybertronian Hound all the way back in 2018, where the entire point of the line he was in was for the figures to then be slightly tweaked into Earth modes and sold at the exact same price a year or two later. But Hound was one of the only ones from that line to not end up as something else, which is weird, because, like, I mean, how long could it take, really? As it turns out, 6 years, 2 years ago, some dude busted into Hasbro servers and found a render of the mythical Earth mode Hound. Oh my God, he's beautiful. But I mean, it was just a render, not a picture of an actual toy, which meant that it was probably like super early into development. But you know, I mean, hopefully we wouldn't be waiting too long, you know? 1 year later, in 2023, we get Detritus, who's basically shit-colored Hound made from that original Siege toy, but with an Earth vehicle mode. Lads, the Hound is nigh. And then, in 2024, 6 goddamn years later, finally, Hound.
Where's the weight
exclusive
was
to a
it?
5-pack with 4 other toys. God damn it!
I'm gonna get you out of here! I'm gonna do everything it takes!
And how much was this multi-pack? Oh yeah, you know, $250. And
Wow.
no, you can't buy Hound by himself. You
Of
can
course.
buy Diarrhea Hound. This random ass character that literally no one cares about is widely available to buy in the main line. But if you want the guy that's actually a fucking main character, you have to buy these 4 other
I guess that's the point. They knew people were really waiting for it. They made people wait. They made people hype. And then they thought, yeah, like, it'd be a shame to just release it individually. So let's release it with a bunch of stuff, so they have to pay more for it. That's how it works.
3-year-old toys. And yeah, I mean, like, okay, turns out all of them are actually kind of cool, and I'm glad I own them now. But, like, that's not the point, okay? But let's assume that each of these should be, like, $39 at most, because that's, like, their actual price when they're not being price gouged to hell, okay? That's still only, like, $195. That is a $55 price difference. That's, like, 17 Big Macs, dude. So I thought, okay, it's already been 6 years. I can wait a couple months for it to go on sale, all right? 2 months later, it does not go on sale. But then, Zavvi, the world's least reliable UK retailer, puts it up for $218. And on top of that, they're also saying it's going to come out 4 months earlier in March. Here is my wallet.
Alright.
See you in 2 months. But now it's July, and they still haven't
Yeah,
sent
of
that
course,
shit.
of
So I
course.
cancel. And I end up caving for the overpriced one on Amazon.
I always tell my, like, one story of pre-ordering something physical. It was 2013. It was GTA 5. I loved the previous GTA. I pre-ordered GTA 5, and that's the only time I pre-ordered like a physical thing, right? And you know, I was so hyped to get it. And guess what happened? It's fucking delayed, which means that like it's out in the stores, right? Like people at school are buying it. They're starting to talk about it, and I'm still waiting. And basically, I ended up getting it like a week after it came out in store, right? Which meant that yeah, you know, I'd already heard people talk about it, and you know, I was just so mad because the hype was kind of gone. And the only thing I got for it is, yeah, I got it a week later, and there was like a map of Los Santos. That was like the goodies going with it. Yeah. And then I never pre-ordered something physical again. Yeah. Like I don't mind pre-ordering a game on Steam or something. But yeah, physical, nah. The disappointment is terrible when like it doesn't come when you think it's gonna come. Yeah. I did see that, Nobik. I did see that.
That still hasn't gone on sale.
100
Literally that same
years old
day,
is a good
I
one.
find a site called Aussie Collectibles, and by abusing their sign-up bonus, I can get it for $180.
Okay.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Now we're getting somewhere. So I return the Amazon one without opening it. 3 months go by, and nothing. And I'm like, there's no fucking way. I've just been Zavvied twice. So, you know,
Wait
I
for
email them
reviews.
as politely as possible, asking them where my boy
Reviews
was
is
at.
not the
And they
problem.
reply immediately, hi,
was that it
this
came
item
late.
is unavailable. Would you like a refund? So I go, okay, I don't give a shit anymore. I'm just going to order it from Amazon again for $227. Then, and I shit you not, the next day, email from Aussie Collectibles.
Oh my
Your
God.
order's been shipped. But like,
Fuck
wait,
off.
now it's too late to cancel the Amazon one because it's already on the way. So now 2 show up, and I've just become the proud legal owner of $450 worth of hounds. Bro, I just wanted my hound. And then as well, like, I know the price of anything is cooked at the moment, okay? The Australian economy is in shambles. We got some new Missing Link toys coming out next year, okay? Bumblebee and Cliffjumper. And Missing Link is tough because it's both the coolest and most overpriced toy line of all time. The Optimus was like $200, and like, yeah, that was already pushing it, but at least there was like a decently sized figure that came with like all this other shit, okay? But because these guys are in scale with the old ass toys from the 80s, these dudes are like fucking tiny. In the US, they're $40. That's like 60 AUD, and that's like, look, I wouldn't not pay that, but guess how much they are here. Seriously, I want you to guess. I'll give you a sec. I can wait. $90
Oh, okay.
each
That
for
was a bit
toys
far.
the size of my dick. And just you Americans watching, because I know you can't do math for shit. That is 58 USD individually. So, you know, I guess I know what I'm asking for Christmas.
It's
Next
so
year as well,
small.
right? Because they realize that no one can afford them. They're
With
shrinking the
Transformers
super big
toy.
Titan class price point and giving you like a little discount.
It was
but
like
not
thousands
in
and
Australia,
thousands of dollars,
Why?
yeah.
Fuck you, that's why. Then there's next year's HasLab, okay? So HasLab's a crowdfunded project with budgets as big as the 45-year-olds that should be paying off their mortgages give them. So already this shit like costs a fortune. In the US and any properly developed country, you'd be able to get it directly from Hasbro Pulse. But because they absolutely refuse to come to Australia, us Aussies were at the mercy of the world's most overpriced gaming store. And let me just tell you how much EB Games absolutely sucks ass, okay? Their entire business model relies on jacking up the price of literally every single thing they sell.
That's how it
because
works.
they know that your 78-year-old grandma doesn't know what the fuck Xbox
Overpriced.
Gold is. And they do sell Transformers for like $20 more than any sane human being would pay for. But this was the last
Damn.
goddamn straw, man. $750. For the record, in the US, it was like $250, which is what, like 380, 400 AUD max, okay? So these guys were charging almost double. And we were all like, that's gotta be a mistake, right?
Yeah, like why? Why would they try that much? I mean, I get it. They would try to get some profit out of it, and if they know they're the only ones selling it in Australia, I guess they can do it. But to that extent, that's insanity.
Right? Right? So then people started reaching out to Hasbro to be like,
What the fuck?
and they basically said that like retailers can charge whatever the hell they want.
Yeah, of course.
Unlucky. But then EB Games came back and they were like, nah, they were the ones that were trying to bankrupt their entire customer base. Bro, I don't care whose fault it is, okay? Because in the end, it was cheaper for me to import it from a foreign country and tank both the conversion fees and international shipping to still have it be cheaper by $200. And again, I know it could always be Lego charging $150 for a throne room and like 3 minifigs, but still, bruh. Anyway, how about we take a quick break from bitching about toys to 7-year-olds to talk about something I did that was actually a positive experience this year. So I didn't go on an overseas crusade to get a single guy like I did last year, but I did go on a Japan trip with some friends this year, where we spent a whole week putting on 50 kilos and acting like 5-year-old children. One of the hotels we booked was like directly under a train line, so the fact that I was like horrifically sleep deprived for an entire week is the excuse I'm using for all of my behavior. We went to Universal Studios, where I stole like a Snoopy headband I found on the floor that probably belonged to a small Japanese child. I got to eat a Minion burger, which is maybe like the most disgusting thing I've ever had in my entire life. We saw whatever this is. We watched Yowie at 1 a.m. It was a great trip. But of course, you guys know me. The only reason I was so excited wasn't to go immerse myself in the culture of a beautiful foreign country, but to spend several hours looking for kids' toys. But turns out it's actually easier to find bootleg Freddy Fazbear plushies than it was to find transforming robots in the country that created the transforming robots. I mean, I found one store in Akihabara that was selling Omega Supreme, so you bet I bought that shit immediately. Like, didn't matter that it was bigger than my suitcase. Like,
I was gonna say, like, if you go to Akihabara, it can't be that hard to find Transformer shop.
Didn't need half my clothes anyway.
They have literally everything.
Famous toy reviewer Link Frostimus, who broke into my hotel room and gave me Piss Bumblebee, and that was the only other thing I got out of Japan aside from the realization that I'm going to die before I own Studio Series Bone Crusher.
That's surprising.
Anyway, back to complaining. I talk about this every single time I do one of these videos, but I think Hasbro is getting way too comfortable with being lazy. When they did a new Springer this year, that was just like a beefed up version of a 6-year-old.
I don't want to be that guy, but it's like the classic idea of like everybody complaining about, like the bullshit of, the game coming out unfinished and stuff like that, but they still keep buying them. I mean, if they're getting lazy and you keep buying them, they're not gonna learn the lesson. So, Mr. YouTuber, you are part of the problem. But also, he's a Transformer YouTuber, so like he can't just stop buying them, otherwise he has no content. So, yeah. It's kind of stuck, I guess.
Old toy from 2018 that cost double the price. People weren't happy about it, but at least it was like a mostly new toy. Like, even if they still didn't add enough shit to justify the $100 price points, they just threw in a ton of useless accessories, like his iconic Wrecker's hammer that he's used in absolutely fucking never. But in 2021, they gave us a Galvatron that for some godforsaken reason came pre-run over with a car. And I have a full-on conspiracy theory that they only did it so they could release it again a year later without all the shit on it, because they know that people would have already bought it, which they did, and which I did. But so a third Galvatron just hit the toy line, because next year they're doing another Galvatron, but this time he's now the purple that he should have been the entire goddamn time. Like, okay, maybe I'm being a cynical asshole, but like, to me, it's like they're doing these intentional inaccuracies so they can do multiple releases that get progressively more how like they're supposed to look in the first place, that they only get away with because they know people like me are impatient as hell. And if it was just like one time, I'd be like, okay, whatever. But nah, they did the same shit with Blaster in the same line where they made his son eject out of clear plastic that literally nobody asked for, which they definitely only did so they could redo it in the proper colors a couple years later. They did a better Leo Convoy, they did a better Metal Hawk, they put out a better Thundertron not even a couple months after they put out the first one. Even the new Transformers 1 Prime Megatron they did for Studio Series.
I guess from what he's saying, like, it seems like the best would be to just never buy the new stuff. Like, if you have a character you like, you can go, you look at like all the version over the years and just go for the best version, but never buy like the new version of anything. Like, wait for years later to see, which one has become the best version or something. Because I guess if they keep releasing like bad version and slowly making a better version, yeah, I guess you're yeah, like they're kind of fucking you, obviously.
These both look like they've been exposed to about 15 years of cigarette
weird
smoke.
business
Because
model.
you know for a fact that they're going to put out proper versions of this shit in like a month, and I will buy them anyway because I have zero self-respect.
Well,
Speaking of Optimus Primes, this year was like the 40th anniversary for the brand, so they celebrated by making 40 million Optimus Primes. Because like just this year, they've given us like an $180 Studio Series Optimus Prime, an Animated Prime, Devastation Prime, Reactivate Prime, Police Brutality Optimus Prime, Missing Link Prime, Missing Link Prime for broke people, a reissue of the toy that Missing Link is a remake of that costs almost the same amount for some reason, NASA Optimus Prime, 15 reissues of 10-year-old toys of Optimus Prime, a recolor of said 5-year-old toy of Optimus Prime, a Hot Wheels Prime that costs $80
so
for some reason, Monster Hunter Optimus Prime, and a $4,500 Japanese exclusive Optimus
That's cool.
Prime. I know people who
That's
have bought
cool.
all of these, and I would like them to know I am very afraid of them. So yeah, this year hasn't been the best, but next year though, those dudes at Hasbro are making me hungry as hell because they're absolutely cooking next year. Legacy still has like one more wave to go before we move on to the next line, which I'm pretty sure is meant to be Hasbro's equivalent of a YouTube apology video, because every single toy in this wave are the ones that were so understocked that you would have had to go on a global manhunt to get any of them. Like, you know, Cosmos and yes, my arch nemesis Galaxy Shuttle. And yeah, you know what? You can bully me on Twitter all you want for the fact that I spent like 50 times as much on a plane ticket to get him only for them to release him normally. But you know what? I'm glad I didn't have to wait an extra year for it to sit on the floor and collect dust, okay? But then after that, I mean, the first wave of Age of the Primes looks absolutely fire. Like, we're getting a new Devastator next year. We're getting a new Superion. Bayformers is finally back. They're doing the 13 Primes. They're doing a big-ass Optimus Prime. I'm going to be homeless next year. Anyway, that's all from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to have a happy-ass new year.
I like how, you know, once again, it's like, yeah, the year hasn't been great. You know, Hasbro is getting worse. And then super optimistic for next year that everything is going to be perfect and amazing.
And I will see you all
Classic,
in 2025.
classic.
Hopefully.
Really, the addiction.
And transference.
It do be like that. It do be like that. Huh? Okay, I mean, yeah. In a way, like, the way he described it to me, it really sounds like, yeah, like, you know, this is the kind of thing that if you get into it, maybe it's better to, you know, it's kind of like people saying that, like, all games these days are bullshit with the DLC, microtransaction, they aren't finished on release. Huh? So might as well just play older game and only play like the new game once they have like a definitive edition or something, and you know they're really finished, and they're on sale or something. So, you know, Transformers and collecting stuff like this seems like the same kind of thing. Like, you know, if you can manage to wire your brain to not want the new stuff, then you're gonna be much better off. You can just like, you know, get a collection of like the older stuff. You can always pick from the best. You can get way cheaper version. But again, I also understand the appeal and how hard it is to be into an hobby and not want the newer stuff too, and like keep up with the news and all that, right? I kind of get it. Yeah, I kind of get it. Okay, so I don't know what was the point of the video. Like, was it bad or was it good? Like, seems like he got a lot of cool toy, but also Hasbro is kind of bad, I guess, in 2024. I guess is what I get. So like, it's half bad and half good to an extent. Yeah. The fact that some figurines are better when it comes to the engineering and stuff, so people would just buy the first version and keep it. Fair enough. Fair enough. Here's a link. Alright, if I still do this kind of stream, I guess we'll watch the one for 2025 in a year. If I'm still around then for this stream. Very interesting.